Hello and welcome to the CrossWinds More Than Sunday podcast. We are excited you are joining us again. And today we've got a special one. I am talking with Sarah, our small groups pastor at CrossWinds, and she's going to tell us a little bit about how we're trying to do community in the midst of this very weird season where you can't run into people. You can't go outside and have conversations with your neighbors. You got to stay 6 feet away anywhere you are. We've got some ideas for how we can make that happen. Well, hey, welcome, Sarah. Guys, this is Sarah Lochelt. Do you say Lochelt or Lochelt? You've worked here like
Lochelt.
5 months. And you're kidding me.
I know.
Lochelt?
I know.
None of us are getting. Is anybody getting this right?
No.
Sarah is our small groups pastor, our newest staff member really at CrossWinds, at least on our pastoral staff, and has been with us since December?
Since October of last year, yeah.
Gosh, time flies, Sarah.
Sure does.
Another fun fact about Sarah, she is engaged to one of our other pastors, Zach Hamstra, our middle school director. Whenever people find that out, they all start to go, wow, that was fast. Like as if you got here, met Zach one day at a staff meeting and then got engaged. But you guys were dating before. In fact, before we even get into small groups, which is part of what we're going to talk about today and how we're doing those online, what is this? How did you and Zach meet?
Yeah. And one of the things that everyone is most excited about for me to marry Zach is that now they'll be able to say my last name because Hamstra is a lot easier than Lochelt. We met through Matt Van Gent, who's our executive pastor. He and his wife, Erin, are good friends of mine from Southern California. And so Matt is the one who first invited me to come to CrossWinds when I was visiting, first invited me to apply for the job here, and also was the first person that had the idea, I think Zach and Sarah should really meet. So Matt Van Gent is to thank for many a great thing in my life in this season.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, good. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're on the team and excited for both you and Zach. All right.
Thank you.
This is such an unusual situation everyone is in. And if you had asked us 6 months ago, 2 months ago, hey, how will we be doing small group come March? Would any of us have ever thought of this at all?
Nope. We would have said we would keep doing it the same way.
Right. And so we have been just racking our brains looking for ways for small groups to keep meeting because, I don't know, for us, the community that happens in small group, I mean, the things that come into your life through small group and the way that Jesus gets formed in you through small group, it doesn't really happen in other settings. And so I think you have come up with a creative way and started to implement that. And I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. Yeah. This is really a test of what, we say that the big life-changing things that happen in small groups are things that are irreplaceable. And so we're really putting that to the test with a lot of virtual options. So since we are all being asked to stay in our own homes, not to meet even in small groups for this next couple of weeks, but maybe next couple of months, we are utilizing online small groups. So the majority of our groups that have used this already are using a program called Zoom, which is actually really, really easy. You can download it online. You can also find it on the App Store. So those of us who already have smartphones, that's what I did for my small group. I just downloaded the app, found it in the App Store. It's a little blue icon with a white camera on it. And it works like a video call. So you enter in, you sign up with your email address, and then you just add people to a meeting. And so I set up a meeting for Thursday night with my small group, and I just added their email addresses to gather them all together. So that's what we're hoping that leaders will do, and invite their group into a meeting. And we'd love for people to keep their meeting at the same time. I have small group at 7 p.m. every Thursday night. And so we're going to keep doing small group at 7 p.m. on Thursday night. We're just all going to be sitting on our PJs to watch it and looking at each other's faces on a screen rather than getting to sit in somebody's living room. So we're trying this out and really having some really great feedback so far about it.
Yeah, I mean, Sarah, let me ask you, just let me play the skeptic for a second.
Yeah.
Do you really think it will work for people to have 8 people on their screen, all trying to talk over each other at one time, and really getting us to a place where people can have the same kind of community they have in person?
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, people are really good at talking over each other, whether online or in person. But
That's
I
true.
I really think that the community that happens, I think we're all wondering whether this is our only option. Like, can't we just take 2 weeks off and we'll just get back together when all of this changes? And I think what we're learning pretty quickly, we've only been sheltering in place for what, 2.5 days now, is that
Right.
we
Yeah.
really need human connection. I mean, I love all the people that I live with, but I got to have places to talk and to have people still pouring into my life and talking about what we watch in the sermon together. I think CrossWinds Church has done a really awesome job of watching the services online, of getting people together and watching them. And now we're saying with small groups, we're going to dig even deeper and say that discipleship continues to happen even when we're all stuck in our own homes. But what does that look like? And are we willing to invite other voices in to say, hey, Sarah, are you loving your roommates in this way that Chris called us to or Jody called us to? It's pretty vulnerable still, even if it's on a screen.
Yeah, it's interesting. Man, it couldn't be more than a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, maybe. Matt Van Gant, who's our executive pastor, led our pastoral staff, our leadership team in a meeting where we were talking about what the future of church looks like in our world that is so digital. Do you remember
Yeah.
this? And at the staff meeting, we were just discussing, well, would we ever be open to doing some of these online things? And do we want to have more of an online presence than the one that we have now, or less of an
Mhm.
online presence? And there was some push and pull either way. Some suggesting we should go further into the digital realm, not abandoning what we do live and in person with small groups or
Mhm.
with our services, but still do more online, including online small groups. Then we
Mhm.
had others who were like, we should stop putting our services online. Everything ought to be in person because
Mhm.
it's irreplaceable, the community you get. And I think where we left it was basically, let's just do what we're still doing and maybe add in a few more digital things.
Uh-huh.
I don't think any of us were real in favor of the digital small group kind of thing because we like the idea of people meeting in person, and
Mhm.
we didn't have too much in mind for that other than some small groups that are on like the other side of the country,
Mhm.
or maybe people who live a couple hours from the church and can't really come in the middle of the week for small group. We talked about some remote groups where they
Mhm.
watch the service online and then they sit still together in person in a living room and do small group, right? Well,
Mhm.
here we are now kind of faced with a have to situation when
Mhm.
it comes to digital groups. And, I will tell you, we're only a few days into this, but I've kind of watched three of these kind of things happen personally just in the last couple of days. The first one, we had a creative arts team meeting where we were having to plan some services. And we had six of us, maybe seven of us, who were all on the Google Meet. We weren't using Zoom; we
Mhm.
were using Google Meet, which is another option. Everybody
Mhm. Yeah.
also works really well, and I think Google has made it free
Yes.
and through July or something like that. So another really great option. And I was really impressed with how it worked and
Hmm.
how everybody was able to talk and not talk over each other. And it was really good. Actually, it was really
Good.
good. Second thing, I know it's not a small group, but it was legit.
Still a group,
Um,
yeah.
it's still a group. The second time I watched my daughter. So Daniel Parsons, our high school pastor, did his usual Monday night Bible study. Usually they do it at a Starbucks or they do it at church. They did one in Monday night as usual, and they had pretty much as many kids as they always have, and they were all logged into a Google Meet.
Mhm.
And he was leading them in the Bible study as they were talking and joking and asking questions,
Hmm.
and it worked. The
Wow.
third one, I watched my daughter today doing her high school class, which I'm sure many of you with kids are having this stuff happen, online learning. But I watched her teacher and 50 other kids, because she teaches
Wow.
this class three times in the normal day. 50 other kids log in to watch her lecture and ask questions and again joke around with each other and watches their cats run through the video of themselves. And people go, "Wait, is that your cat? Show me your cat." While the teacher's trying to lecture. Um, but I think that this is way more doable than maybe we thought, and maybe
Mhm.
one of the things God's going to do in the middle of this is surprise us with another way to do small group.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think it's so easy to forget on the one hand that God is constantly doing new things among us, and that churches have historically been in people's houses. People have found ways to gather in small groups no matter what the society around them had to say about it. And so for us, trying to be good neighbors in this time might mean staying at home to do our small groups, but not being willing to compromise that we still need that time in community together. It is irreplaceable. And I think I might be the person who asked at our staff meeting, is online community, is it just pseudo community? Does it even really count? And I can tell you that given the options of me just being at home for 3 weeks and me getting the chance to talk and interact and smile and laugh with my friends, even over the computer screen, I'll take that every single day. It takes a little more intentionality
Absolutely.
though.
Yeah, it does. It does. So this is what I would say. If you're a group that is trying this and you've already
Mhm.
decided to try it either over Zoom or Google Meet, and
Mhm.
maybe you've already, as a leader, connected with Sarah to figure out how to do that or get some tutorials on that,
Mhm.
let us know how that's going, would you? Because we'd
Yeah.
love to hear it and hear from you so we can help make it better for everybody. If
Mhm.
you're a group that is currently like, we're going to just kind of take a hiatus for a little while and see what it's like to pick back up later.
Mhm.
I would encourage you to rethink that and consider at
Mhm.
least just trying like one or maybe two. Uh,
Mhm.
one or maybe two of these where you just try to talk this way as a group
Mhm.
and don't just hang out on it. Like actually go through the small group questions. We're still
Mhm.
preparing all of those every single week
Mhm.
and see what God does in that. And then give us your feedback on that too. We'd love to
Mhm.
hear it, but give it a try. You might be surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. And two other things I want to add. One, if you're a small group leader, this is really a time when, I don't know about you, but I can feel really busy and often last minute be prepping for my small group. Now is a time when a lot of us have extra time to really prepare. How awesome is it to show up to a group when you know the leader has been praying for you, reading the Bible, preparing for it? So I'd really encourage leaders to spend some time preparing if you're going to be doing your groups in this weird, stuck inside time. And then secondly, I've talked to a lot of you who are leading groups who have so many things that you're trying to make time for right now, whether you have kids at home or you are trying to work remotely. And it can feel like setting up the online small group can just be another thing to figure out, which we all have a lot of stress and anxiety in this season. And we don't want to add to that. We're saying that it will be worth it. The community and the connection that you'll find in this is worth the time it'll take to get it set up, to send some texts or some phone calls or some emails to get everybody together. We really, really think that it's worth this time. And we think that community, like we said, it's irreplaceable. So we're going to find a way to do it no matter what, even if it means we're learning how to be a little more tech savvy than we were used to.
Absolutely. Hey, the other thing, if you're somebody who's not in a small group and you're listening to this and you're thinking, maybe this would be an interesting time to try one since I
Yeah.
can't go out of my house to work and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
engaging people the way that I used to, and maybe you don't have the opportunity to get into a group of 8 to 10 people and start talking about anything these days.
Yeah.
Maybe now you want to try it. Contact Sarah.
Yes,
And
please.
and we will try to get you into a group even right now. How cool would it be if we finish this crazy coronavirus season with more people in small groups and in community than we had
Oh my
before?
gosh, I would love
And
that.
give us your email address, Sarah.
Yes, my email address is slochelt@crosswindschurch.org. You can email me. My information is also listed on our website. I would even love to meet you just one-on-one. If you use FaceTime or Marco Polo, would love to say hi and see what kind of a group you're looking for. Normally, I would meet up with you at a coffee shop and buy you a cup of coffee. But until we can do that, we can do this virtually as well.
All right. Sarah, thanks so much. We appreciate it. And looking forward to seeing what happens with small groups this season.
Thanks, Chris.